Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, anybody who's a geek and wants to listen to another Top 5. We are doing our Top 5 today on martial arts movies. Ninjas, nunchucks, swords, bad lip syncing,
wasabi.
All of that is going to be discussed. That really was, and apologize.
You will not talk to me.
We have a full disclaimer. We have a full disclaimer at the beginning. The opinions expressed are by Tony and Tony alone. No, I'm just But yeah, we're not going to do that. So, Top 5 martial arts. You know what? You are redeemed. You are forgiven. Okay, for those of you who are listening to this podcast, man, please jump over to the YouTube channel and make sure to check out this video.
Big Trouble in Little China.
We have. Which one is that? Is that lightning right there? Which one was the one?
This is thunder.
That's thunder.
This was thunder.
Just expanded and blew up. That is great. Oh man! So you got to see this hat that Tony has on. He has on an official Rice hat.
Oh, and he twisted his beard.
He's got the Fu Manchu happening there, so he can do the. If he starts moving that beard to the side, then you know it's like time to run. Because anytime you see the old Chinese man whip his beard to the side, you know you're finna get your ass kicked.
You throw it over like that?
That's how it goes, right? Now it's really bad if they take the ponytail and they whip it around their head and wrap it on their neck. It's about to go down.
It's over.
When they do this,
and then they have it. It's about to go down. We're going to get into some of those battles. Now, let me just preface and say that we're talking about martial arts, and there is a movie on my list. Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. You know what? I want to make sure that is in frame. That is great.
Do you need it again?
Let me get that window up because I want to make sure that is in frame. I will bring the window down just so we can get. Okay, we got 2 of the 3 right there. 2 of the
oldest won't cooperate, so she got 1 too, but she won't cooperate.
There we go. We go. All right, so we are talking martial arts. We did our last call. We did Top 5 Western. We struggled with Westerns. Trying to get through.
I think we did okay though.
We came up with a very solid list. It was,
but not like we normally do. Not like we normally do.
Yeah, we didn't have like 30 movies to choose from. We had like maybe 17 movies total.
You got your top 5
all together.
You got your top 5 out of 3 people. That's
that's all you could get. And I would have been really curious if anybody. You know what? If you go back and you watch that Top 5 Western, please, anything we missed that needs to be on that list, please.
Which we know we missed a lot.
Let us know. Western was not a strong category, but it's a good category, and there was some really good picks in that. But we are now covering martial arts, and oh my God, there's so many movies to choose from. Trying to narrow down what I wanted to put on my top 5 list was such a struggle for this because I love martial arts movies. I started the last call. The last time we got together, we did Westerns. I started Westerns. We're in the same order we were in last time. So for those of you watching, I'm on the left. Denisia's in the middle. Tony is to the right. Since I started last time, tonight will be ladies first. Dunesia gets to start us off. So that means all of her movies will probably make the cut. I think Tony and I will be safe.
Which I really need because I know you guys have got this.
I think Tony and I will be safe. We have plenty to choose from.
Yeah.
So we will let Dunesia start us off and give her picks. Dunesia, what do you got?
When I think about martial arts, like I get excited about this movie. And what I love about martial art movies is the plot does not matter.
It does not.
Somebody died and somebody has to get beat up. That's what it is. Somebody has to fight somebody.
Some of the most ridiculous things, like this movie. I mean, he's looking for a statue head. Who cares? It's important to his village, though. That's all.
Let me go ahead. She got that first one off my list.
Yeah, I can scratch it too.
The Thai Warrior. 2 words. Tony Jaa.
Tony Jaa. He
Came out
definitely.
in 2003, 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, 84% audience score. But that whole
So
scene in the club, ugh,
yeah, that
He,
that whole movie was freaking ridiculous. It
it
was
was
just
so stupid. You must get the head.
now, what's
like the
great about
secret
that one
elephants.
scene? Honestly, what's great about that one scene is that entire scene is a single
One,
shot.
yeah, one
Mm-hmm.
take.
Yep.
That is a one take scene, and
Hmm.
you don't get that much. That's
No.
hard to do.
Jackie Chan don't even get one takes, and he
Mm-hmm.
he does his own stunt
And that's
in
only
that
because he hurt
Yeah.
himself in half his takes.
all the time.
So that's saying something for that. But yeah, that scene, that's like a 7 minute fight sequence all in one
Yeah.
take, and he goes from one side of the building all the way around. When he jumps up the stairs, jumps off the stairs, the guy that they record that gets kicked over the railing into the tape, man, that movie is phenomenal. And
You
Tony
can't talk
Jaa,
about martial arts and not mention Tony Jaa. I mean, it's
yeah,
not.
he set his own, he carved his own lane. He didn't set a standard, he
Yes.
carved his own lane. And that's
Hmm.
very impressive. Muay Thai got a lot more respect after that.
Yeah. Not getting kicked by a knee could do
Damn
so
good pick.
much.
Because most times in martial arts, you see punches, you see kicks, you see flips, you see some acrobatics. My man is coming in with knees and elbows, and
Elbows,
he is
knees,
just
elbows,
like,
shoulders,
yeah,
forehead.
I mean, he is
Yeah.
like cracking skulls. Ong Bak. There we go. Set the bar. That's what we do. All right, Tony. Let's get into it. What you got, player? What you got?
I don't appreciate her taking my movie off my list because I had a solid 5 with that movie. So now I got to go to my other banger. I know I'm taking it. I know I'm taking this from one of y'all, maybe both of y'all. 97 on Rotten Tomatoes,
Yeah.
86 audience score. Came out in 2000. I know that's kind of recent for me, but that I like this movie. 4 words: Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
That's one of my alternates.
I don't know how that's an alternate when that freaking
Because
movie
I have
by
another
itself,
movie.
when that movie by itself set the bar for all martial arts movies
It
that
did.
was made after it. It set it for every one of them. It
Yes.
destroyed the ones before it and made the other ones coming behind it have to step their game up. Just the fighting alone and fighting on top of trees, really
Mm-hmm.
just
That
I
movie
got
makes wire work acceptable because it
Yes.
takes
right.
out, despite the fact that it is clearly wire work when they're standing on the bamboo branches of the tree, having the sword fight, when they're running across the walls. We expect to see that type of stuff in animated features. We expect to see that type of stuff in anime movies. But to see it done live action and to be done so well, it was art.
It was in even the sound in that scene of them floating through the tree. Like,
It's like you heard everything that you were supposed to hear, and
mm-hmm.
they made you think how it technically a ninja is because you didn't hear them. You heard everything around them,
Yeah.
especially when the what's her name? The
Mich-
girl was in there and she was
I can't
stealing.
say her name, but yeah.
Yeah, not Michelle. The younger one who was in there to steal everything when she was being her ninja self and running
Zhang
around.
Ziyi.
Z
Right.
Z Z Z Z.
And I'm like, come on now. Chow Yun Fat. He was excellent in this movie. I mean,
Yeah.
just top the visuals, the soundtrack. You're talking about if you just want to relax, put on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's like a Zen garden. It's like, ah.
And you know
But
what? Ang
hmm?
Lee. Ang Lee.
Ang
Yeah.
Right.
Ang Lee, he was the director for that movie, and
He was
it
the
was
director.
phenomenal. He was also got credit as a producer, but that was a phenomenal movie. So very, very strong pick right out the door.
And it
Mhm.
was 2 hours and it did not feel like
No,
2
it was
hours.
great. That definitely set the bar for martial art film, especially
Everything.
Americans watching martial art films. I think it just kind of really, really set the bar.
That it did. All right. Anything else you want to throw in on that?
No,
Because there's so
I
much that
mean,
could really be talked
if
about with that movie.
if
So
you haven't seen this movie, I don't know why. Because when it came out, it was just arguably the greatest movie to come out that year. Period. It was just that good.
yeah,
So
that
I mean,
was an award winner, wasn't it?
yeah, it won a
It won.
couple of awards.
That was like,
I'm pretty sure it won, Academy Awards and stuff. It had to.
all right. Well, you know what? Take a moment, find out, check in that.
Sword of
See.
Destiny.
Yes.
All
Right.
right. Anytime I talk about martial arts movies, I call this movie, and I know we typically have a rule. I'm gonna break my own rule.
You can't break the rules.
I'm going to break the. You know what?
Form of protest.
Okay, fine.
Denied.
Informal protest.
All in favor
Denied.
say yay. All opposed say nay. Nay.
No.
All right. Okay.
It
The nays
too.
have it.
I will leave it. I tell you what, Tony. I will leave it as an alternate, just because it has been on the list before. I will stick with that.
We made the rule. You cannot use it.
All right. All right. We're gonna
If I
talk
could
about it
use
before
mine,
it's over.
if I couldn't use mine last list for the Western, you can't use it now.
Okay. I'll give you that. So then we're gonna go to my second pick. This is the second movie that was on my list, and automatically we're gonna go right back to Jackie Chan. This is one of the first. Was this one of the first movies I saw? Not one of the first movies I saw with Jackie Chan, but this is actually one of his first movies. And he was initially supposed to be the replacement for Bruce Lee. Everybody thought that he was really being prepped in Hong Kong to be the next Bruce Lee. Producers wanted him to do it because he started off as just a stunt man. They saw he had some skill and ability, and he took that and he kind of ran with it. This movie got a 79 tomato meter. It is an 85 audience score. It is Drunken Master.
Yup.
That's good.
Solid movie.
That's good.
Drunken Master is an amazing movie. And the fight style, drunken boxing, that is it's such a unique style to see on film, and to have someone who can actually perform it properly, you need somebody like a Jackie Chan to do it. In this movie, Jackie Chan plays a Chinese folk hero, Wong Fei Hung. And Wong Fei Hung is probably going to be on a couple of lists just because I don't know how so many different people play that character or who that character is supposed to be, but he's just amazing, apparently, because everybody who's ever played him has been amazing in that. Jackie Chan plays a character, Wong Fei Hung, and he has to learn. He gets in trouble because he's like a lazy kid and whatnot, and his father decides, okay, you're gonna go and you're gonna learn from this master, and this master he's a drunk, but that's his style, drunken boxing. And when he starts to learn this drunken boxing, he finds out that his father's actually he's going to be assassinated by this guy who is never lost. And the assassin's name is Thunderleg. Just, you were talking about how silly the plots are sometimes, and this is one of those. But it is Jackie Chan in all of his glorious Jackie Chan form, and
Sounds
it
like
is
one of
just
my exes.
an amazing.
Really? Really?
I'm sorry.
Just okay. So yeah,
All
but
right then.
She was bendy.
Drunken Master is form of protest. You on my time. That's what you always tell me. You on my time.
Oh,
Drunken
God.
Master is one of my favorite martial arts movies, and it holds up so well. There's two Drunken Masters. I am referring just to Drunken Master. Just two Drunken Master. Well, no, he did another one, and that one is the Legend of Drunken Master. This one I'm referring to is just Drunken Master. So that is my pick. That is
Like
my
it.
first pick.
That's a good one.
Denisha, round 2.
Okay, the reason I didn't pick Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, not because this movie is better. It's just I watched this movie more. The visuals, the same as Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that same level. It came out in 2004, 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, and audience score. It's The House of Flying Daggers.
Yep, I had that one too.
Scene because she's supposed to be blind. I love that. I love that movie. And
Yeah.
That's a solid pick. Yeah, that was my movie. That was my alternate though, so we good. I took yours, you took mine.
And that's why, yeah. I mean, I just felt like I couldn't have both of them.
Yeah, you got to leave something out there.
You weren't getting both of those, so
yeah. And so, like I said, I've seen House of Flying Daggers more. Same actress, Zhang Ziyi, what?
Zhang Ziyi.
Memoirs of a Geisha Girl.
Zhang Ziyi.
She's in this.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let Sam pronounce all the names.
Yeah.
Because so far he's good with it.
So that's my number 2.
That's a very solid pick.
I like that.
Let me go ahead and I marked that one off. So okay. D coming in with some solid picks.
I'm so glad I get to go first on this one. I needed it.
All right, so for my number 2 is probably one of my favorite martial art movies. 94 on Rotten Tomatoes, 92 audience score. Made in 1973. A lot of my favorite movie that we have already named was a spoof of a lot of this person's movies. This movie, Enter the Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's probably, if not the greatest Bruce Lee movie, it's one of the greatest. But I personally think this is his overall, top to bottom, best movie. I mean, in my favorite movie, you had one of the scenes, which was Barry Gordon's The Last Dragon, which is a great movie. They were actually watching that in the movie theater and acting out the scene in the courtyard in the movies, which I just found that was a great play to the homage of how great this movie was. You got, of course, like I said, Bruce Lee, John Saxon was a martial artist. He's an American martial artist. You had Jim Kelly was in it. He was an American martial artist. You had Bob Wall was the villain with the missing hand. You always got to have that the little villain that kind of stands out.
Right.
But it was basically a kung fu competition, and you had who's in all the kung fu movies? Bolo
Young.
He was he was basically in all of the old school martial arts movies, and he was there because he could fight. He was not the stereotypical martial artist. He was the big one, but he still had the skills to fight with the others. But basically, Bruce just comes in. He's coming in to find the person who killed his sister, who's in there, and he gets his revenge. And I don't want to get too much of it away, but the best scene was, for me, it wasn't the ending. It was when Bruce was going through the catacombs or the tunnels underneath and fighting all the henchmen. He took the nunchucks and started spinning them, and the guy was like, what the hell? And then when he kicked Jackie Chan in the face once and put him out. So that's my number 2. Technically, it's my number 1, but yeah. Crouching Tiger, and then
Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, that's a solid one. I mean, you almost can't go wrong with picking any Bruce Lee martial arts movie.
He has some bad ones. He had a couple bad ones.
I said almost.
But the art form is still there.
It is.
It was a couple that
Well,
was
okay,
like,
okay.
a couple that was like,
Maybe like two. I'm thinking
yeah,
in my head.
I mean, I'm thinking is well, I don't want to say a movie in case it's on somebody's list, but just,
That's why I said maybe like there's two I'm
if
thinking
that
of.
first one ain't on there, then that's probably the only one. Like when they breaking ice, I'm gonna just say that. Like that was
yeah,
a,
that was horrible.
but that was also like one of the first movies, and so that's kind of why that is.
Right, because as he got older, the movies got better.
Yeah.
Which you gotta expect. They're not supposed to get worse though. The more you do,
We'll
if they do, then
ask Steven Seagal about that.
first of all, we don't mention the fake martial artists. We don't mention them.
Karate chop. Karate
So
chop. Judo.
if anybody ever got beat up by Steven Seagal, they should like quarantine for the rest of their life.
Oh God.
Right.
Under Siege was good though. I'm not gonna have it.
Just go
I mean,
off somewhere in shame.
I would think, I would give you more respect if you got beat up by Billy Blanks.
Well,
out in the park while he was doing Tabo.
Tybo.
I was about to say, what was the movie Queen Latifah was in where the girl was like, "Come on, you don't want none of this pow pow." She was like doing a little Tybo.
She was doing the taxi.
That had your boy Steve Martin.
Yes.
No,
yes,
not the taxi one. That was the one with Steve Martin, House Guest or something like that. I think it was.
Oh no, okay. Yes, when she was the Steve was there and she had the boyfriend was coming looking for her. Somebody was coming to look for her.
Like the live-in nanny, and she was at a spa with Steve Martin. Anyway, that's not a martial arts movie. It just had Tybo in it, and she mentioned Billy Blanks. Okay.
Tybo ho.
So, my next one, 2012.
Oh.
86 tomato meter, 87 audience score. There is very little talking in this movie. It is action from beginning to end.
I got you. That's a good one.
I like it.
Solid.
Iko Uwais.
See, Sam says all the names.
Sam's gonna say all the names.
The Raid Redemption.
Yep. That was on my list, homeboy.
Let me tell you something. There is one scene in that movie that stands out, and it stands the test of time. This scene will never be bad. The Raid is about these police officers. I want to say it's are they Korean? I believe they might be like Korean.
Just say Asian. What's Asian? Because I don't remember the exact nationality.
Rama is a member of this elite commando police force and whatnot, and they're actually going in to this high-rise apartment complex. And when they get in, they're going in to capture the bad guy. Well, the bad guy knows they're coming. He's got security and everything set up, and he locks the building down. Once he locks the building down, the commandos can't get out, and they're walking right into a trap.
Think of Judge Dredd.
So at that point, all they can do is try to fight their way out. And let me tell you something. There is so much action in this movie. There's a scene where my man punches this dude so hard, his head hits the brick and shatters the brick. He then grabs the man's head and punches his head all the way down to the bottom of the brick. It is so brutal and fantastic. And the martial arts sequence in this movie is amazing. People are getting kicked through walls. It is.
Guys, you remember Daredevil season 1 where he had his fight when he was in all black with the mask,
the hallway fight.
He was in the hallway fight. That's what it reminded me of.
This movie, the entire movie is like a hallway fight.
It's
so amazing.
Once they get locked down, it is non-stop fisticuffs. They are, and you could tell they are exhausted, but they got to fight to survive, and they kick everybody's ass. It's ridiculous. It's like 12 words, like 500 broken bones. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's a great movie. Yeah, that was my alternate. Good job. Yeah.
This movie is it's fast paced. It doesn't feel slow, and it is action from beginning to end. That is literally the third one on my list since I can't use my first one.
Too bad.
But it's going to be number 2. That is the
I want to
rave.
say it was like 10 minutes into the movie they got locked down, or like
It
15
like
minutes in.
when I tell you the
It was
beginning
like
of the movie,
right.
as soon as it starts, they go right into it, and
Mhm.
that's where it is, and it is just nonstop.
Yeah, it's like you meet the cast. Okay, we got to go do this.
Awesome.
All right,
Awesome.
lockdown. Wait a minute. It's just a good. That was great. Yeah, that was great. Mm-hmm.
All right,
Okay.
Denisha, round three. What you got?
Okay, this came out in 2009. 26%
Here she go again.
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Sam, she's taking your title.
50% audience score.
She's taking your title, Sam.
As long as I
The
got
thing
dance
with
flick,
this
I'm
movie-
good.
I think with this, there was no real plot, and I think maybe people were looking for a plot, and I still don't even really know what the movie was about, but I don't care. I don't care. It's Ninja Assassin.
Yo, that was a good movie.
That was a great
That was
movie.
a fantastic movie.
And it was just gore. It was great.
That knife on the chain, even the scene in his apartment.
I don't even know what's that called. Like the scene where he
a
had
kunai on a chain. Yes, that is
Yeah.
that is a
when
kunai.
he had to
Thank you,
go
Sam.
and he was killing the drug dealers when they was getting the tattoos. Oh, that whole scene. I was like, yo, he is freaking
This
ridiculous.
dust showing up, and then when they came in his apartment, you can like hear them like just whispering a little bit. I was like, oh my god, like I'm scared.
I don't know why people didn't like that movie. That movie was great.
See,
Now
Yeah.
don't be talking
Yeah.
about me.
that movie, one of the things that I remember most about that
And the
movie,
Wachowskis produced that.
Yeah.
I remember that movie came out in 3D. That was when 3D
Oh,
was
really?
all the rave. And when she's talking about that scene with the kunai on the chain and he's throwing it, it is actually shot specifically for the blade to be coming towards the screen of your 3D. You're like, oh, here it comes. And it swings across and like, but yeah, the way people were getting sliced up in that movie,
It was ridiculous.
yeah. They was
Like I don't care about the backstory and how he was raised and he betrayed.
Yes.
because it almost doesn't matter.
I don't care.
But he had a
That's
girlfriend.
why people didn't like it because they wanted to care about the
Well,
story.
he had it was a love story, so I don't know why you couldn't just attach yourself there. She took care of his feet and all that. I'm like, come on.
And what was the girl in that one? What was her name?
I don't remember
But
her.
the black lady or the other?
Yeah,
lady?
the black lady.
The-
Naomi something or
Yeah,
other.
yeah. So and
And see, I think too, they kind of had you wanting to believe it was something going on with them, and then it kind of does a flashback, and you realize no, it's about this other relationship, and then you're like, well, what? And then he was part of this, but he didn't want to be, and then I don't care.
I just I didn't care about no story, no nothing. I wanted the fights, and I got a lot of fights in that movie that was just outstanding.
But they had-
especially the last fight. The last fight I
Mhm.
think was like,
yeah.
I mean, I think I watched it like 5 times. Just okay, no, we gotta see that one.
Just fast forward to the end to get to that.
Did he
scene.
do? No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. That was one of the few movies that I will agree with does not need a plot. You just need to kill things. Just go.
Mhm.
Ninja and assassin, kill it.
The
Just
guy
kill
from Fast and Furious is in it. Han.
right?
He's in it.
Mhm.
Naomi Harris is the actress
Oh,
I'm
okay.
thinking of.
I
Of
see.
course,
I knew it was something.
I like Naomi Harris. I like when she's in movies. She's okay. And Rick Yoon.
Yeah.
I like too
He's-
the older man that survived because his heart was on the other side.
Right.
His telling of that, it was eerie. It was very reminiscent of hearing about John Wick for the first time, Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
He
Baba.
took-
Baba. Yeah.
so yeah, great movie. So I don't care about your 26% Rotten Tomatoes or your
I back you on
audience
this one.
score.
Yep.
It should at least be in the 70s. I would say minimum 70s.
Alrighty. So
Damn. That's making me want to go watch it now.
I got one for you. You
I'm
know
going
what?
to watch it.
I'm gonna give you
I'm
something to
going
watch.
to watch that movie.
No,
when we
check
get
this
done.
out. I'm gonna give you something to watch.
But it's my turn.
All right. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
See?
Tony.
All right, so I can't follow up the gore, so I'm gonna stick with my theme that I started with, I'm gonna go to 2004, 95 Rotten Tomatoes, 87 audience score. Jet Li is in it,
Oh, damn it. That's what.
Okay.
and Donnie Yen
Oh,
and all them other names. I'll let Sam pronounce. But my movie is Hero.
please talk about that one scene. Just talk about that
Which
one scene.
one? Shit, the end.
No, no, no.
Look.
The two people you mentioned. Talk about that scene.
No, you talk about it because I want to talk about the girls fighting.
Okay.
It was just
Oh,
the
so
cinematography in this. I'm still going.
okay.
I'll let you talk about that one because that's one of the great fight scenes of all time. But the cinematography in this movie and how they use color to accentuate what was actually going on.
Yeah.
Everybody had their own style. It's like the two that was together. I can't remember the name. The guy and the girl, they wore green. I can't remember their names. I couldn't pronounce it if I could anyway. But you had Jet Li was in it. I don't think he was the unnamed guy. You had what? Oh, it was Broken Sword and Flying Snow. I mean, the names in this movie. You had Moon, the nameless one. I mean, it's just it's if you like Crouching Tiger and how those fight scenes went on, I actually think the fight scenes in Hero was better from top to bottom. Crouching Tiger might have been a better movie, but the scene and the acting in Hero was better to me. Everything in Hero flowed a lot better when they were on screen fighting each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So talk about your favorite scene, Sam. I'll leave you that one since I took yours.
Okay. So if there was ever a battle of the minds, it's not the kind of thing you expect to see in a martial arts movie. But when you take Donnie Yen as Long Sky fighting against Nameless, or the hero, because they don't really, he doesn't have a name in the movie. They meet up and they realize that a fight is going to take place. As a person is playing one of the like Chinese sitars in the background, they look at each other and they mentally engage. They become aware of the presence and they recognize that this fight is going to take place. We see one of the most amazing fight scenes that's ever been recorded.
Ever.
Donnie Yen and Jet Li. And what's so great, here's some of that trivia. Donnie Yen and Jet Li trained together as children. They were under the same master as kids, and so they were more familiar fighting one another than two good martial arts actors would be. So seeing these two fight, they knew each other a little better. And they have very similar styles. And as a result, they could spar much better on camera. And we watched this fight take place. And,
in black and white.
And Nameless wins the fight. Jet Li ends up winning the fight. Only for us to recognize at the end, neither one of them ever actually threw a punch. They were able to size one another up visually. And they both basically imagined what the fight would be like. It's kind of like when Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty would play chess. They never had a chessboard. They would simply call out the pieces that they would move. And because of their intellect, they could actually keep up with the entire board. They never actually had to play.
And also, when we had the DC Marvel crossover, when Batman and Captain America met, they never threw a punch. They looked at each other and did moves and decided, okay, we're too evenly matched. This is not what's going on.
If I can throw this punch and you blocked it this way and you were able to reverse this toss, oh, you must be so-and-so. And
they literally figured out who could win just by imagining the other person's move. I mean, just
decided it should be a draw.
Yeah,
and when you have someone like Nameless coming on his mission from the king, he's got that, like he's this great swordsman. He's got this special technique, death at 10 paces. And, yeah.
Hero was great too.
Hero is on the list. Like, let me tell you, man, this is a fantastic movie. Excellent pick. I love that movie.
let me just say, I stumbled across this movie one day when I was bored. And since I like Jet Li, I was like, ooh, what is this? And I hit play, instantly bought it, instantly added it to my favorites.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like, okay, nah, I don't know how this got away from me, but it instantly is a classic.
yeah. I mean,
So,
it's fantastic cast, awesome fighting, and as you said, it
and
is visually amazing. The use of
none of the fight
color,
scenes let you down. They
nothing.
all are great. And this is, are we doing spoilers?
Yeah, that came out and you had
To,
20 years,
to, so, I mean, this is,
16, 16 years to see that movie.
we can say that this is one of the movies where the guy does not survive at the end.
You know what? We had a whole conversation about what's seen on screen and what's not seen on screen. And
Whatever, he's standing there in a thousand
when all
million
those
trillion
arrows,
arrows.
when all those
That's
arrows are
death.
coming his way,
That's death.
maybe it is,
And
maybe it's not.
but think about it. Then it goes to the outside of the gate, and all the arrows come through the door
Yeah, yeah.
where he was standing. I don't know anybody except for like Martian Manhunter or Vision that has special abilities that can let them phase through items like that. And them they came through, the arrowheads came through, so that lets you know he didn't draw his sword and cut nothing up, which I think he could have. He could have cut up a nice little silhouette for himself. That's how great he was. But that's not how the arrows came through the door.
I mean, honestly, when Hero and it's funny because I've always gone through the movie calling him Hero just because I figured that was
Yeah.
why it was
I
called
thought that was
Hero.
his name until they
Right.
said he's the nameless one. I was like, oh,
And so
really?
yeah, when I had to like go back and do the research on it, I was like, oh, nameless. Okay, cool. I'll use that. But I always called him Hero. So when Hero gets to the king and he doesn't kill the king, and the conversation he has with the king is like, if you were a real hero, you wouldn't want to kill. Da 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 da. It was like, wow, that was kind of deep at the moment. So he decides not to kill the king, and then of course he goes out later. Now the king actually requested that Hero be murdered or wanted him assassinated,
Mhm.
and so ultimately, I agree that we don't know. I don't know that the arrows is what did it, but yes, the hero ends up getting a nice funeral, and it shows the that the words that are written at the end. Of course, it's like in subtitles, of course, but it says that the king ends up becoming the first emperor of China. So that was one of those things that's like
Ooh.
pretty dope story. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Great, great freaking movie.
Yes.
It's not as action packed as Ninja Assassin.
not at
Not
all.
by
But
not at
but
all.
every fight that they have in that is fantastic. So
It's almost perfect.
it makes up for it. All right, since we pulling out these big titles and stuff, you know what I'm
I
saying?
got some gun. I got little guns.
I can't I can't give you those epic visuals, but what I will give you is a damn good movie.
Okay.
This movie came out. When did this movie come out? I don't even know when this movie came out. This movie came out 2005. It got a 90 tomato meter, an 89 audience score. I'm gonna say one
God
name,
damn it.
and you gonna know this movie. Stephen Chow.
All right.
Are we watching? For those of you who aren't watching, you got to see this dance that I'm doing, and that might have given it away right there. But
Yeah, man.
that damn Axe Gang and Kung Fu Hustle. Let me tell you something.
That was the dumbest movie, but it was so funny.
It was so funny.
It was dumb, but it's like you can't take your eyes off the screen. It's like,
Now, here's the thing. Everything that took place inside this one little village is fantastic. Everything that Stephen Chow does outside of this village makes no sense. There's the girl that doesn't speak and she's got the sucker and he was mean to her as a kid, and then like later on he wants to be nice to her, whatever. You got the Stephen Chow is basically trying to get into this gang called the Axe Gang. The Axe Gang are like the
Yep.
most feared gang in this town. They run the city. And you have this one little bitty town, and the Axe Gang goes to this town to try to collect their, money and do their gangster stuff there. And when they get to this particular Shanghai slum, it turns out that Brother Sum, and he is like the coolest dude in the Axe Gang, he's a leader. Brother Sum he's not aware that all of these like legendary fighters live in this one little rundown village.
Yep.
So he shows up and he think he's gonna like first of all, let's talk about the landlady and the landlord. Okay.
Hey,
Yunhua and Yun Kui.
I was about to say, get your cigarette.
Let me tell you something. My girl, badass. Homeboy, been in like these. What's fantastic about this movie is like Stephen Chow made it a point to go and get martial arts legends, people who had done martial arts movies their entire career, like legitimate superstars of cinema. Think of something like Red, where you just you take these older or Expendables, you take these has-beens and you bring them back on and you give them their line, you give them their shine back. That's kind of what this movie does. And it does it so fantastically. And it's a silly, goofy movie, but the fight scenes are phenomenal. You got the tailor, and he pulls out his rings around his arm, and he's got, like his martial arts style is like strong fist and stuff.
yep.
You've got the guy with the poles, and he's got the staffs. It's, oh, man, when I tell you this movie is so fantastic, it's silly, it's goofy, you're gonna laugh, but it's such a good movie.
If you like parody style movies, then this is the one. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I didn't think about it, put it on my list, but I will watch it just because the humor in it isn't too campy. It actually makes you laugh when you watch it. So yeah, I couldn't get behind that one. That's a solid one.
And the Beast, the guy that they bring in at the
Yeah.
end of the movie, the Beast, like some of his movies back in the day, let me tell you something. We'll get back to like just matter of fact, let me move him to the side because I want to bring up some of his movies later on and talk about how fantastic that guy was. But you know what? For the longest time, I thought that was Bolo Young.
Oh, really?
I thought that was an older Bolo Young. Like, he was all big and swole, and then he like starts to get smaller as he gets older. But yeah. So Kung Fu Hustle for me.
Damn. All right.
And I am just going right down my list. All righty.
Except for the ones I take.
Actually, you're not
last two
you're
are
taking them
great,
out of
so.
order, so we're good. Hero was
All right,
on my
D.
list, but you took it out of order.
That's fine. All right, D, we talked enough. Your turn.
Okay. My number 4. I don't even know if you guys have even seen this. It doesn't even have a tomato score. That's a 70
Here she go again.
audience score, though. I mean, maybe you can find it. I couldn't find the tomato score. It's actually a sequel. So when I talk about this, I'm talking about the second one, not the first one.
Okay.
And I can highlight a Black man doing martial arts. I mean, Russian prison, Black man fighting.
Okay.
You guys have seen it. It's Undisputed 2.
Yeah.
White.
Yeah. We've seen that one.
Yeah. Last man standing.
No?
Last man standing. Like, let me
Yeah,
tell you
that's
something.
not a bad pick.
Because let me tell you something. Michael
The
Jai
first
White.
one was great. With Wesley Snipes, great. But
Yeah.
Michael Jai White,
I believe he is I think Michael Jai White is a better martial artist than Wesley Snipes is
I
a
think
martial artist.
Snipes brought it to the forefront of
100%.
Black men doing martial arts, like a modern martial arts, but Michael Jai
Yeah.
White, like you can tell he actually studied the art form. He's a
He
student
would beat
of
the
martial
brakes off
arts.
Wesley.
Because
In
see,
their
in the
prime,
first,
he beat the brakes off
when
Wesley.
you
And
talk,
Billy Bates.
especially with this being like the sequel, when you talk about Undisputed was about boxing,
Yes.
whereas Undisputed 2 is cage fighting,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
they was
Russian prison.
going at it. And yeah,
Okay.
I like. You know what? I like that pick.
I don't know why you think we wouldn't have seen that one. That was a
I
good
like
one.
that pick. Cause see, look, Scott Atkins, that man is like everywhere when it comes to martial arts. He is like
He is.
like him and Ray Park being everything as the martial. Like when you just need a dude to do martial arts and you don't really have to know who that dude is, but you need somebody good. You either getting Scott Atkins or Ray Park. Like that's what it is. And for a while, you was getting Mark Dacascos and Gary. Oh, what's that dude's name?
Gary Busey,
No, not Gary Busey.
Gary Oldman,
Stop it. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Because he was the
Gary
guy.
Glitter.
He was the guy that played Kenshiro in Fist of Legend. So it'll come to me.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that one. That's
No, Fist of the North Star. We're talking about martial arts, and of course, Fist of Legend is just on my mind. But Fist of the North Star. Keep going because it's not on me. So
well, I don't.
It's
yeah,
on
I
you,
don't know.
Tony.
Okay.
what's the dude's name?
All right. So mine is. I'm going back because I've stayed in certain time periods too long, so I got to go back to what I'm comfortable in. Going back to 1978. It doesn't have a tomato meter because not a lot of people have seen it because it is so old, but it has an 84% audience score.
Okay.
5 Deadly Venoms.
Ooh.
Ooh. 5
Yes.
Deadly Venoms.
Okay.
A lot of
writing it
people didn't like it because it was a dubbed. The American version was dubbed, but
Okay.
they didn't do subtitles like they do now. So the only way to get it was I put it like this: it was like watching Arnold Schwarzenegger in Hercules.
down.
That's how bad.
Actually,
the
it's not
dubbing
even
was.
dubbed. That is straight up voiceover.
Yeah, it was just it's just horrible. But it's basically one student going back and fighting all of the 5 deadly venoms. They were centipede, snake, scorpion, lizard, and toad. Those were the 5 that he had to fight. All of them were different. And of course, the most popular out of them that everybody knows is snake because that's all you see people doing is the snake.
Okay.
But just the scenes, if you just want fighting and like Ninja Assassin, just watch for fighting. 5 Deadly Venoms is a movie that you should watch.
And see, that's the kind of movie that we used to see back in the day on like
Kung Fu Theater.
I was about to say
Kung
now
Fu Theater.
it's UPN 69, but you would catch that on like Saturday night around midnight.
36. Was it 36?
I thought it was 69.
Well, it was 69, but we didn't have 69 back then.
It wasn't UPN 69 rather.
Yeah, it was something else. And then they turned to 69 and then they went to UPN.
But yes, that was what you would find, and it was Kung Fu Theater. This was the kind of movie. This is literally the kind of movie when people make fun of old martial arts movies, and they do the like mimicking where they're moving their mouth and nothing's coming out, and then they're like, "You
This
killed
is
my master. You and I should fight."
and it's serious, just stereotypical. Hey, you kill somebody, okay, I gotta seek revenge. I'm killing everybody you know.
But you know what? Really simple. That's a Shaw Brothers.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it a classic martial arts movie because it's a Shaw Brothers film. And Shaw Brothers is Kung Fu Theater. So
Kung Fu Theater has so many good, like the bouncing vampire movie,
Yeah,
That shit,
it's
you remember that one? It's actually an old Asian superstition. But
Five Deadly
we won't get.
Venoms. Wow.
That was a yeah.
I
It
gotta
took you back. It
I
took
gotta
you
go
back on
find
that one.
that one. I gotta go find. Actually, do I?
Here you go.
No, I
Okay,
got.
focus.
Okay, you see all those DVDs over there, and I'm like, I feel like it's over there.
First of all, you don't want to see DVDs.
This is what we kept. I have the other stuff is on the computer, but we'll move on. We'll move on.
I got a terabyte.
So
Just
I got a terabyte. That's what I'm saying. Like it's. I think it's over there on disc though. All right. So my
all right,
next
five
movie.
deadly venoms. Boom.
Gotcha. I'm
Thank
writing it
you.
down for you.
Oh, you stop it.
I mean, you guys just want to see whose movie collection is bigger, but you can do that on your own time.
I'm gonna let you have that one, okay?
Thank you.
You see out there to say nothing, but you can see it. You look in the eyes.
It's like,
Yeah.
actually, you know what? What we should what we should probably do is get a third party opinion. Anyway, okay. So my next pick. Let's see. We're just going down the line here. So we've done Drunken Master. We've done The Raid. We've done.
So this should be your last one.
It is his last one.
Is this not number 4?
No.
Oh no, this is number. You didn't.
This is
Okay,
his
I forgot. I
four.
started this time.
Yeah.
So this is
he
your
has
fourth.
2 more.
Okay. So that one's gone and that one's gone. So we're good. Yeah.
I've just been talking so long. I forgot you did.
First
So,
of all, these movies bring flashbacks.
Okay. This is your week category. We all have one week category, right? I'm taking
Yeah.
it. This is your week category.
Mm-hmm.
All
You
right.
can moderate like I had.
No, I know she got her list though.
I got a solid 5. Thank you.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
this movie has.
Force choke your ass.
You've got a couple of choices for this one. You could pick any one of them, and they would all be great.
Avatar. The live action one.
Ooh, stop. Stop.
Hey,
So, Donnie Yen. I'm going to go with the original. I'm just going to go with the first one, just so that there are options. And
Okay.
the first one is the one that really stands out.
yep. You fucker.
And
That was my next one.
Ip Man.
Yep. The master of Bruce Lee.
Everybody who likes martial arts movies is at least familiar or has seen one of the
How many?
Ip Man
Like
movies.
6 or 7.
4.
Right.
It's only
only
4.
4.
Technically, there's 5. There's 4 with Donnie Yen,
Yep.
but technically there's 5.
I only count the ones with Donnie.
That other one's actually pretty good though.
It doesn't matter. It's only 4. You can't have Ip Man without Donnie Yen. It's 4.
I'm gonna challenge you to go and see the other one. Just this is not as a. Just check it out at some point. It's actually pretty good, and I want you to see it just as a movie connoisseur. I want you to see that one. Final Fight. Just check that one out. But Ip Man, the original, number 1. It stars Donnie Yen, and Donnie Yen is in this movie, he plays Ip Man, and Ip Man is the first person who teaches a specific style of Kung Fu called Wing Chun. And it's essentially a lost art that he develops, and he's constantly challenged for that particular style, thinking that it won't hold up against other styles. And he is always going, I won't say out of his way, because it honestly looks so effortless for him. I don't know if that's a credit to Donnie Yen or a credit to the style itself. But it is just so entertaining to watch Donnie Yen on screen portraying Ip Man. And it spawned 4 movies. And I literally have on my list the word any in parentheses because any one of the Ip Man movies would be fine to be in this spot on my list.
They all had classic boss fights.
I mean,
Like in the first one, when he had to fight for the right to teach his style,
what?
and
Come
then
on.
you could see like like you and your best friend sitting down want to fight somebody. They were like, "Yo, you go fight him. Nah, you go fight him. All right, you go first. I go." Like, they both get up there and get their butts kicked. It's
Yeah.
like,
You know what I'm saying? Like get beat down,
but wait a minute. Hey, what's this?
bruh.
Come on now.
Like Wing Chun is just such a fantastic form of kung fu, and it's so fluid and brutal at the same time.
Mhm.
And it is about, using the opponent's momentum against them, attacking while defending. And it's just, I love to watch Donnie Yen in these roles. Like, if he did nothing but Ip Man movies, I would be okay with that. And, like, he has such a great repertoire of movies, but his Ip Man films are my favorite because he plays like this corny teacher dad dude, and
like,
then he
"Hey,
goes into
yeah."
fight mode, and it's like, who is this?
Like going when he was in the fish market and he beating people with pallets. I mean,
Did you
really?
Just yawn? What's that?
Huh? She did.
I am yawning. Y'all taking forever.
All right, go then. Since you just don't want us
All
to
right.
enjoy
Ip
ourselves,
Man.
Man.
I do want you to enjoy
Is on
yourself.
my
and
list.
That's a great pick, and I've actually seen, I think, 2 of the 4.
All right, so let's get your next one.
Get your last one.
This is my last one. I cannot do a martial arts list without including this person. For me,
Which Van Damme movie did you pick?
oh, you do know me. 1989, 36% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I just want to make sure you got the right one. If you got the right one, it's okay.
Well, I think I said the other one before, and so I had to do Kickboxer
Okay.
because I think I already mentioned
You did
Bloodsport.
Yeah, you did say
You
Bloodsport.
did
Yeah.
Bloodsport.
And so
As long as you
Kickboxer is
didn't
another
say-
one.
Kickboxer
My
is
bro-
technically Bloodsport 2. Like, it's...
Yeah, basically. And then
As-
I don't even know how many kickboxers there is.
As long as you didn't come out with the quest, we were all right.
No.
We-
But
Oh my-
it just a lot of great elements. My brother's paralyzed. I must avenge him. And
But
then
you know the greatest thing about Kickboxer? The dance scene. That is where the infamous Van
That
Damme
is
dance
garbage.
scene comes from.
yeah.
Oh
Yep.
my god!
But that is the very first thing that comes to mind when somebody talks about Kickboxer. I immediately think of that. But yeah, Kickboxer is actually pretty damn good. Like, all things considered.
For what it is, it's good. I mean, the same, just like I said with Bloodsport.
Because ultimately
They are what they are.
Well, the reason this feels so much like Bloodsport is you have a former military guy entering an illegal underground fighting tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It happens to be the same main character who's playing, like first time he's Frank Dukes. Now he's like
Somebody
Kurt Sloan.
Yep.
Was he Kurt or Eric?
It's Kurt. It was Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt.
Sloan.
So Eric is the one that got killed or something, and
He's got paralyzed.
paralyzed. Yes, yeah. I'm sorry. He got paralyzed, and so it's just. I mean, it's the same movie, but it's done differently, and as a result, it feels like a different movie, and it's okay. And I'm not gonna act
But that's
like
all they do with Jean-Claude. Like, they do the same movie, they just change the motivation
oh yeah. I mean, but you know what?
and the training montage.
That's
changes.
what they do with so many revenge stories. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing crazy there, and it's all good. I mean, like I definitely say that is a hell of a movie. Like, I do like that one. That one makes the list. I think the other honorable mentions for Jean-Claude might have been like the first Universal Soldier and Cyborg.
Universal Soldier for sure.
And Cyborg. But after that we're not gonna get into anything else he did up until maybe
double impact.
Double Impact
yeah
is okay.
Yeah, I could do Double Impact. I could do Double Impact. So you know what? If I'll bring that up in when we get to honorable mentions because that made me think of one for him. Okay, Kickboxer. Now it's funny that Kickboxer spawned so many sequels that had nothing to do with the original movie.
Not
I
one.
think the second one did though. Like the second one kind of picked up.
The second one was the avenging of the brother, right?
No, the first one was, and then his
I
brother.
thought he got killed too. And
I
then
was
the
gonna say,
third,
maybe he did get killed in the
the
second.
third brother then came in.
Some
Am I thinking about something? It was something. Maybe I'm thinking of the
That
wrong
was
thing.
when that other dude who was on the Hogan family came in
And he took over.
and started being the guy, Sasha something. And he did like 3 of the movies, and then I feel like they switched it after that to someone else, and it's like, yeah. I think the only context was that he was maybe supposed to be the same character, but you know, I don't know.
He definitely had the same name.
Yeah, but it wasn't for whatever reason.
It wasn't the same.
It wasn't Jean. It was like they took this guy at another point in his life or something. You know, it's really weird because it just doesn't feel related to the first one. And then all the other ones that came after that. Like, how many kickboxers were there total?
Like 6.
I want to say like 5 or was it 5 or 6? It was a lot.
I know there's at least 5.
8.
8 kickboxer movies.
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, kickboxer
I really was gonna say at max maybe 6, but I thought it was only 5.
6.
My God.
Kickboxer.
Oh, I just really want to watch
Wait.
the 8th one now.
Kickboxer
How
came out in
horrible is that?
89. Then you had Kickboxer 2 in 91, Kickboxer 3 in 92, Kickboxer 4 in 94, Redemption Kickboxer 5 was in 95, Kickboxer Vengeance was in 2016.
How much kicking can you do?
Kickboxer Retaliation was 2006.
God.
I'm missing one.
You know
one.
what?
It says 8.
You know what? I
I
I
do
want to see the
remember.
8th one just to see how
7.
horrible it is.
Where is number 8?
I will tell you something. I do remember Kickboxer 5 because that's Mark Dacascos. And
Yeah.
that dude,
That's why I thought
don't get enough love.
And they sell it in a box set. Oh, Kickboxer.
Why?
Oh, the 8th one isn't out yet. It's called Kickboxer Armageddon, and it comes out this year.
Oh,
oh, I have
ladies
to
and
watch
gentlemen,
that.
you heard it here first. Kickboxer
It's
Armageddon.
a box set. Seriously.
Wow.
Oh, I'm so glad that my pick brought this conversation.
Thank you for that.
I did not know there was that
Oh
many.
my
Thank you for that. I
God.
would
I
never
can't wait
have
to see-
known that.
I feel like it's gonna be like Sharknado.
That's a
It's
group watch. We
more
have to
and
watch
more
that movie.
ridiculous.
We have to watch
Wait a
that
minute.
movie.
First of all, I haven't seen but 1 and 2. So
That's all right. I'm pretty sure you can skip right to the last one because they've changed out. Like I said, this is one of those movies where
it doesn't
none
matter.
of the other
It's
stories seem to have anything to do with the previous
Oh,
story.
maybe it's like Highlander. They're just
Right? They just use the name Kickboxer because he's a guy who does kickboxing.
yeah. That's it.
You know what? Remember how the
Oh my God.
let me
It's-
not pick
it's-
that because I don't want to piss you off. Remember okay, actually, you know what? I think you will be familiar with this and you would have been obligated at something. I don't know. John Cena did that movie, The Marine.
Yeah.
And then
And then people
the
came and
second
just
one
did it.
who did The Marine 2 was a totally different story, but because it was another guy who was a Marine kind of thing, that's what they started doing with Kickboxer.
Yeah.
Like I said, even the second one doesn't really have anything to do with the first one. It's supposed to
Yeah.
be the same person, but Van Damme didn't come back, so it switched it up. So, all right, so I'm now aware that there's a Kickboxer 8 coming out, and I got to check that out.
And it's called Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Not
It's
Mortal
over.
Kombat. Not Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
Kickboxer.
Kickboxer Armageddon.
That might actually make it just slightly better fighting. All right, cool.
Wow.
Tony, what you got?
I'm still shocked on this though. I didn't
As
know
am
it was
I.
8.
As
I thought it was
am
really
I.
like 3 or 4, and that was it.
No,
It's-
I knew there was 5. I thought maybe 6, but 8?
8. Okay. So wow. Oh, I gotta collect myself. Just
Just your hat.
so I'm going 1978, of course. 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. 64% audience score.
Mm-hmm.
Game of Death with Bruce Lee.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
What? It's literally I think people only remember because he's fighting Kareem in this movie. He has to literally fight stages. It's like it's like a Mortal Kombat tower. He has to fight stages to get to the guy he wants to get to. But people forget Bruce was a gangster in this movie. Got shot up, faked his death, had plastic surgery, and then came back to fight. I mean, it's that whole thing right there is just idiotic. It's ridiculous.
You know what? Game of Death, what most people remember, or if anybody's unsure if they've seen Game of Death, have you ever seen the Bruce Lee movie where he's actually wearing the yellow jumpsuit?
That's Game of Death. Or
That
the little
is Game
kid
of
Death.
the little kid who had the viral video who was mocking who was doing the martial arts. He was doing the Game
Well,
of
I've
Death.
seen that, but I've seen pieces, but I
That's
know I've not seen
what
that movie.
the little kid that was doing it, he's actually doing a scene from Game of Death. What he's doing is actually the move. He has learned it that good.
I like it.
It was another one that did. It was in Last Dragon for a brief moment.
Yeah, he had the yellow jumpsuit in that.
Yep.
Okay, so
It
that
was. I want to say. I don't
Donnie
want to say that
Yen,
one because
Donnie Yen did it in Fat Dragon.
I don't want to say the last one because it might be the last one you got.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, it was Kill Bill.
Yeah.
She had the yellow jumpsuit in
Oh yeah.
Kill Bill. All that came from Game of Death. Oops. Too much juice.
And all of that is like anytime you see somebody in that yellow suit with the black stripe, that is homage to that movie. And that is when you know that somebody's like really ready to throw down.
Yeah. Because he kicked a lot of tail in this movie.
The Tekken video game franchise, one of the main characters on that, Martial Law, has a yellow jumpsuit. And it's one of the costumes.
Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat was modeled after
Bruce Lee. He's modeled after Bruce Lee, but at no point does he have I seen him in the yellow jumpsuit.
No, he's just got the pants and stuff.
Now the Fei Long from Street Fighter is based on the Enter the Dragon version of Bruce Lee. When he takes off the white jacket and he's got on just the black pants and the Chinese shoes. That's modeled. But yeah, anytime you see that yellow jumpsuit and black stripe, that is Game of Death, and that is what people are referencing. And that is, that fight with Kareem. That fight with Kareem.
That is ridiculous.
That is
ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Because Kareem's 7 foot plus and he's kicking Bruce Lee.
But you know what? Now. That is probably one of the most posterized images because that is like the way he has his hands set for that. He's got the one hand right up by his face.
It's like this.
Other one is out like that. And
it's like this, and he's standing there like, what you got?
The only other thing he needed to do was if he did the little come on bit with his hand, that would have been it. But yeah.
So D, that's a much watch, D. That's a must watch.
I wrote it down. I got it.
Yeah, because Billy Lowe.
I'm watching Ninja Assassin tonight though.
Billy Lowe.
But that's one of his lower ranked movies. It's a couple that's lower, but this is one of the lower ranked ones.
So that reminds me of something I want to add to honorable mention. I'm gonna just make a note over here.
Go ahead and do your number 5 so we can get the honor.
No, I just made a note. That's all I did. Okay.
D basically saying shut up and give her your 5. That's what's going on. See?
All right. So I want to close out.
This hat is hot.
Oh. Wrong button.
I don't know what
button.
he's doing.
Wrong button.
Now he can't come back. Now we just got to look at the blackness. Midnight. There it is right there. There he is.
Like I said, wrong button. I was just trying to move my screen since I'm being yelled at and I'm trying to hurry. 1992. Michelle Yeoh.
Yep.
Jackie Chan.
Yep.
Super Cop.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
96 tomato meter, 74 audience score. Jackie Chan doing what Jackie Chan does.
Mm-hmm.
After we've already kind of become familiar with Jackie Chan's style, we got Super Cop.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some great supporting characters in this movie. You got Michelle Yeoh, Maggie Chung, Kenneth Sang, Yin Hua, who was in Kung Fu Hustle. You know, like this is such a great movies. You know what I'm saying? And it's the thing is, this is Jackie Chan. He goes undercover,
Mhm.
and he helps this cartel member get out of prison. So he gets in real good with the guy, and he gets him out of prison and whatnot. And they go back, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be the best. You'll be with me." And da 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 da. Now once he gets back in, he starts working with Michelle Yeoh. She's undercover as well. They join up with the guy who broke out of prison. They join back up with his gang. That's when they come across the big boss, and that's where they have to like try to take him down and everything. And then eventually it's got all of the comedy you expect from Jackie Chan, and that's what makes this movie so fantastic. Because there's a whole segment where Jackie Chan, being undercover, bumps into his actual girlfriend at the time, and he's trying to pretend like he doesn't know her. She's
Mm-hmm.
confused, and she's, what I'm saying, it's Jackie Chan being Jackie Chan, and it's kind of funny because he's like, no, 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 I'm not talking to you. And then his friend's like, hey, what's wrong with this broad? He's like, I'll take care of it. And he grabs the girl by the arm. She's like, hey, why are you being so mean? He's like, look, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I got shh. And she's like, why are you being mean? And she's calling this other name. He's like, who is that? He's like, oh yeah, she's crazy. And he pushes. It's so funny. It's so funny. But all of the action is hardcore Jackie Chan, and it is some of the greatest action sequences recorded because this man is insane with what he does stunt wise. And Michelle Yeoh, she pulls her weight. Like this movie could have just been her. She was so badass in this movie. Like, all respect to Michelle Yeoh because she was bringing it. So that's gonna be the one I close out with. That's gonna be Super Cop.
That's a good one.
I've seen that.
There was like 10 other honorable mentions I wanted to use for that, but like, oh my god, it's just so many with Jackie Chan because any one of his, well, actually, you know what? We'll go through first. Denisha, was there anything else you had that you want to do honorable mentions?
Nope.
No honorable
Are
mentions.
you serious?
Nope.
She was good to get her list. We'll leave it at that.
I know.
So, Tony, any
I had a
honorable
good
mentions?
list. Don't give me that look.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything by that.
Yes, you did. That's fine.
So I got Five Fingers of Death.
Yes. Let me mark that one off because it was there.
36 Chambers of Shaolin.
That one was marked.
Let me see where else. Fist of Fury.
I did not have that on my list, but I am familiar. Good pick.
And another one of your Jackie Chan was Police Story.
Ooh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So,
I'm good.
my other honorable mentions for this, of course, would have been, if it was any way I could have included it, it would have been Jet Li's Fist of Legend. That is one of my favorite movies. That movie has a fucking 100 Rotten Tomatoes. That is a perfect martial arts movie. I am still going to say, if you have not seen Fist of Legend, please, please, please go see Fist of Legend. I could not include it on this list because that made it on my action. When we did action, that was on my top 5 action. That is actually on my personal top 5 of all time. So it's been mentioned numerous times. Fist of Legend, Fist of Legend, Fist of Legend. And not Fist of Legend 2, Return of Chin-Zin, even though that stars Donnie Yen and it's not a bad movie, but not the one I want you to see. Go see the original Jet Li Fist of Legend. Other honorable mentions for me were going to be First Strike, which is technically Police Story 4. Any one of the Police Story movies would have been sufficient. Brandon Lee, anything by Brandon Lee, because he only had like 5 or 6 movies, and
Yeah.
I just
Don't forget Rush Hour. D not even paying me no attention no more. Look at that.
How about no red? I knew better
for
than
the quality of this martial arts list,
First of all,
no.
I
No
could
Country
not
for
put-
Old Men and Rush Hour belong in their respective categories.
Okay, okay. I get it.
Let him get through his list.
The only thing would have been Push a Button. That's the biggest thing from that I take. That's my biggest takeaway from the Rush Hour movies. Push a Button. But yeah, everything else that I had, you all mentioned. The Protector would have been another Tony Jaa alternate
Yeah.
for me there, and maybe The Raid 2. But Tony covered. I figured, honestly, I expected Tony to cover all of the old school martial arts, which is why nothing I had on my list was technically old school martial arts. But just in case, yes, Five Fingers, like any of the Shaw Brother collection. God, there's just so many martial arts movies. Jackie Chan and Jet Li alone had like 30 movies I was trying to pick from and narrow down to. So,
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen, that has been top 5 martial arts. Denise
did good.
You did good. See, everybody has that one category that's just not them. We all kind of struggle with Western.
The
but
thing
Tony
is, like,
really
I watch a
struggled.
lot of stuff, but I don't get into it enough to just call it out. You know,
Okay. But you didn't do bad. So
But see,
I
martial
did.
arts is the kind of thing where, like, my Netflix has created a martial arts category because it's
Yep.
picked up on the fact that I watch
Mhm.
anything martial arts.
my
I may not
Netflix
get through
says
everything martial arts, but I'm gonna watch it. We
My
gonna
Well, see,
Netflix says
mine's full of horror and murder mystery, and
mine says crime drama, thriller, horror. It was like, really? And that's not from me. That's from the youngest. That's what she does.
see.
In here watching Forensic Files while I'm at work.
Ooh, I fall asleep listening to Forensic Files.
At least you don't fall asleep watching Dateline.
No.
I knew somebody
Just
that
Forensic
just,
Files.
ugh, that was so weird to me. But that is our top 5 martial arts. So we thank you for listening to us. Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe. Check us out on your favorite streaming app. We're available on Anchor FM. You can find us on Google Podcasts, Apple Music, Spotify, Breaker. I mean, there's just a ton of different ways you can find us find the podcast content. You can also find us on both Facebook under Grown A Geeks and the YouTube channel, also Grown A Geeks. Gary Daniels, by the way, that was the name of the actor that I wanted to talk about for the live action Fist of Legend. That actor, Gary Daniels, is another one of those martial artists who's just underrated. So, personal shout out to both Mark Dacascos and Gary Daniels. We're not going to talk about Only the Strong, Brotherhood of the Wolf, or any of the movies that Gary
Ooh,
Daniels has
brother,
done.
I saw that one.
Wasn't that so good? And
That was good. I
kinda
remember
like-
that one.
But
yeah.
you didn't put it down on your list.
But that's my Mark Dacascos. Like, I could do a whole Mark Dacasco list because I've seen some of the stuff he's done. He's done some great movies. We won't get into it now because we're closing out, and we're gonna get Dunesia off this call. She has plans.
Don't look
I
at me
guess.
don't look at me in that tone of voice.
Right, like, let me get off let me close. All right, folks, we'll talk to you later. Bye. Denisha about to cuss me out, so let me get to moving before she has something else to say. But we do thank you so much for listening to us. We appreciate you being here. Make sure to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can find out every time we load a new video. This has been another series by Grown A Geeks called Top 5. Be sure to check out the other videos under Top 5 and get a great selection of movies. As always, we appreciate you being here, and we are out of here. Peace.
Holla.